Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Voice of Nation. I am Irfan Gufran. Today, we are honored to have with us a distinguished personality from the Indian Foreign Service, a senior diplomat who has represented India on the global stage. Our guest has served the nation with dedication and has played an important role in strengthening India's diplomatic relations internationally. In today's special live interview, we will discuss a valuable guidance for students and competitive exam aspirants. Stay with us for an insightful and inspiring conversation only on Voice of Nation. So let me take an opportunity to welcome our distinguished personality, Sir Noor Rahman Sheikh, IFS. Sir,
Thank
let me
you
welcome.
for having me. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for joining us to today's live session, sir. First, let me correct, sir, the name of you, sir. Let me edit the name properly, sir. Sorry for, sir, only for
It's
a
okay.
second, sir.
It's okay.
Of India. Is this correct, sir?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, sir. Yeah, we have honored you so much, sir, from the Voice of Nation, and I hope you are joining the live today's session from the Delhi itself, right, sir?
Yes. I arrived in Delhi on Saturday morning, and yes, I'm in Delhi
Yeah,
for a couple of days before I proceed to Manipur on 25th
yeah,
December. Yeah.
yeah. It is my great pleasure to meet with you, sir, and to talk some of the important questions and some of the important suggestions uh, that we will be asked to you, sir. It is
Yeah, you
a
go
great
ahead.
pleasure
Go
for.
ahead. Yeah. Sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, first of all, sir, please introduce yourself, sir, in very short, sir.
Well, my name and designation is on the screen, and I joined Indian Foreign Service, in 2004, and I have had postings in several missions abroad, including in Jordan, Saudi Arabia, a mission to the UN in New York, and currently as ambassador of India to Lebanon. And I also had two stints in headquarters. One is Under Secretary West Asia, North Africa, from 2009 to 2012, and as Director Economic Diplomacy for 1 year in 2020 to 2021, and as Joint Secretary Economic Diplomacy from 2021 to 2023 before I proceeded on my current assignment as India's ambassador to Lebanon. Yes.
Mhm. Thank you so much, sir, for giving some of the introduction part. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, I want to know some of the questions that have put forward by many of the civil service aspirants and by many of the competitive exam aspirants, sir. First,
Yes.
you have joined in the Indian civil service, sir. So, what inspired you to join the civil service, sir?
Well, when I was in the school, when I was in 11th and 12th
Mhm.
grades, I wanted to be an army officer. And that is why
Mhm.
I went for National Defense Academy exam, and I qualified for it. I was an army cadet in the NDA for 1.5 years, from
Mhm.
January 1998 to May 1999, and I had some medical issues, so I was boarded out on medical grounds. And from
Mhm.
1999, I joined the university. When once I was boarded out from NDA, my career aspiration moved towards civil service exam, and I did my BA, from Delhi University in political science honors. I started with
Mhm.
School of Correspondence courses, which is now known as SOL, School of Open Learning, for 1 year, and I topped the whole of the Delhi University in the first year exam, and I took migration to Hindu College in second year, and I completed my BA from Hindu College in 2002. And in 2002, straight away I gave my civil service exam. And in the first attempt, I got to Indian Revenue Service, income tax. And in my consecutive year, 2003 exam, I got into Indian Foreign Service. And then, of course, the postings that I just laid out, it has been going on from then. Yeah.
Mhm. So, what motivated you to join the Indian Foreign Service, sir?
Well, when I appeared in 2002, when I gave my first attempt, I had several services in my preferences. In fact, all the services on offer, I believe there were about 18 different services. And I gave preferences for all of them from one to the last option. And since I got Indian Revenue Service in 2003, so I gave only three options in my second attempt, and that was IES, IFS, and IPS. Number of seats in IFS was very less. It was just 16 seats. IES was about 56. IPS was another 60 or so. So, I thought that, I'll give IFS as a second choice. If I get IAS, it's fine. If I don't get it, maybe I'll get IFS or IPS. So I was open to any of these three services. And as luck would have it, my ranking was 187, and then it was fitting into being into IFS, and I got allotted to IFS. That's where I joined IFS. And then thereafter, of course, it turned out to be, very suitable for me. It turned out to be, a very well respected service, highly rewarding, professionally enriching, and going by with aligned with my subject of political science, and
Mhm.
international relations. It turned out to be the best service, best suited for me as well. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hmm.
Uh, so, you said that you have applied some of other exam also. So, how many exams, how many competitive exams did you attempt during your school, during your student days, sir?
Well, I was very focused in my aspiration. As I said, in my higher secondary level, I studied in CC Higher Secondary School, a government school in Manipur, in 11 and 12 science. And during that time, I was very clear that I wanted to join National Defense Academy. I opted for it because it was considered an exam having the toughest interview. The interview, which is a service selection board interview, runs for 4 days. So it is, and it has several components of the interview. Psychological test, verbal, non-verbal, physical test, personality test, and various other such things. So it was a challenge that I took on. I said that I give this exam. This is considered one of the toughest in the world, and that's where I went in for this exam full force, and I qualified for it. I joined NDA as an army cadet. I was doing well. In fact, I was a bronze tortie for academic excellence. I did well in all the fields that I was assigned to. But as fate would have it, in a different part for me. So in my third term, towards the end of 1.5 years, which is midway of the training in NDA, I got a medical issue. And then when I was coming out of it, then another exam that came to my mind was as comparable to that was civil service exam, which is again considered one of the toughest in the world. So I had this habit of taking on the most tough aspects. I don't want to go for an easy way out. I wanted to, for someone studying in a government school, trying to achieve success in NDA was not a small feat. Same thing, when I was boarded
Mhm.
out and came to Delhi University, started with the school of correspondence courses, and then of course getting migrated to Hindu college. going in for this exam immediately after the BA, after completing BA. So it was not easy, but of course, I had this focused approach and preparation in those days. And like in my first year, I used to study 15, 16 hours every day. Continued the same thing in second year. I had great scores in my second year, third year. And my final exams, the last paper of BA third year was on 30th of April 2002, and prelims was on 17th May 2002.
Mhm.
I gave the exam. I found it not so difficult, and then I qualified the prelims, went in for the mains and for the interview, and then qualified in the first attempt itself. So I didn't give too many exams, I would say, but whatever exam I chose to give, I gave my full energy and enthusiasm to it. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, right, sir. So you said that uh, UPSC exam is very tough. So how do you feel that UPSC exam is tough, sir? Please elaborate, sir.
You see, it's tough because there are what 15, 16 lakh aspirants who apply for the exam, and during my time when I
Mhm,
qualified first time, the number of slots was just about 284. The total number of slots when I got
mhm,
Indian Revenue. In fact, it was one of the lowest number of vacancies in many years in this exam. 2004, when I got Indian Foreign Service, the number increased to about 324. So still very low number of seats. So if you compare the ratio of candidates who succeed in the exam vis-a-vis the number of students who actually apply for the exam, this is a very very small number that qualify. That is why it's considered tough. But doesn't mean that it's so tough that no one can qualify. Obviously, number of vacancies are there, and obviously those vacancies are filled every year. Because with a country of our size, with the country of competition that we have, with the kind of aspirations the youth of the country has, I think the exam is tough, but still people will still continue to qualify it. And that's where I felt that if others are able to qualify, why couldn't I qualify for it? That is where I knew that it was tough, but I knew that I could also be one of the successful candidates to qualify. That's where I went into this exam with full energy, full confidence, full enthusiasm, and a lot of discipline. Yes.
right, sir. Sir, many of the students fail, like you had said. Many of the students fail the exam. They have qualified the prelims exam and they enter the men's exam. And from the men's, they could not qualify the men's. So this happened to many of the students. So, sir, to qualify the men's exam, for the men's exam, please suggest some of the topics, or please suggest some of the tips to qualify the men's exam, sir.
See, when I was in grade seven, when I was studying in a school in Manipur, I went for a tuition from a tuition teacher, and the class strength of the tuition was about, I would say, about 30 students in his class. And one thing that he told me struck my mind very very deeply. He said, "No, don't focus too much on the marks. You focus on the understanding of the subject." So that is, I think, the mantra that I have always imbibed throughout my life until now and beyond, I would say. Because I have never worked for the marks per se or for the scores per se, but I've always read books. I've enjoyed reading those books. I have, enjoyed reading art, newspapers, journals. Enjoyed interactions with my colleagues, seniors and juniors. What I have done is, I do not believe too much in the revisional process, the revisions part of it, but I believe in reading a lot, acquiring knowledge in a vast manner, and analyzing it to with full understanding. So what happens is when I study a topic, in any subject, what I do is I study it in a way that I break down into its minute parts of it. I try to understand it fully, and then and it becomes part of my understanding. So it's not like I need to revise about it, that particular concept. Once I have understood the concept, it stays with me. So that is where I did. I didn't go beyond the standard books and those books that all aspirants study, or read. So I also read those books which all others were reading. It's just about the fact that how I was able to absorb it, how I was able to understand it. For example, if you talk about say Indian polity, I mean everyone studies the standard books, Didi Basu, and various other standard authors and standard books. The Bipan Chandra's freedom struggle, various the Puri's Indian economy, Mr. and Mrs. economy, NCRT's books, Gochi Leong geography book, or things like that. So it's not like I'm going beyond what others are doing. It's just that I try to read and understand it, and then try to assess and analyze it. So when I face an exam, I give a lot of thought to each question. I don't just pass on to the next without understanding it. If I'm not able to understand it, that's fine. But I take the exams very, very seriously. And to for that to happen, I have I put in, as I said, in my first year of BA, I studied 15, 16 hours every day. Second year, the same thing. Third year, I was into a lot of other extracurricular activities. I was leader of opposition in Hindu college. I was finance secretary in Manipur Students Association in Delhi. I was associated with DAMS. So in a way, I was like engaged with lot of things. I'm a yoga practitioner for many years, from 1992, since I was in grade 8. I do running, jogging in the morning every day. I do a lot of other extracurricular activities. So what I do is it's just not the books as well. I do the physical part of it, the athletic part of it, interactions part of it. And you, because when you're aspiring to be a civil servant, obviously you also see the other side of it. You may not succeed, you see. As we all know, the number of applicants are much higher than the number of seats available. So that being so, it's possible that someone who has studied it well may not be able to qualify it due to the sheer size of the applicants pool, and very less number of seats. But at the same time, if someone has actually prepared it very well for this exam, I have full confidence that that person will always get success in life. Success in life could does not necessarily mean always getting a high position in government or something like that. It could mean doing very well in startup, or in media, in legal profession, in anything. So this sky is the limit. So I think that the whole thing of garnering knowledge, of various subjects, of various topics, of relevance, I would say. You're talking about history, the ancient history. You're talking about art and culture. You're talking about civil services aptitude. You are talking about philosophy. You are talking about history. You are talking about political science, international relations, statistics, economics. I mean, you are talking of something which is actually required of an educated person. So that way, I feel that anyone who has actually prepared for this exam with full dedication and commitment has nothing to lose. He may not qualify the exam. That's one part of it. But I don't think that should be the end of the world. I mean, like, you have much things beyond. The person may be made out for journalism. The person may be made out for success in legal profession, maybe in academic. Maybe as a writer, as an author. Maybe in politics, maybe in business, maybe in financial management, whatever be it. So I think the beauty of this exam, what I see, is that of course people who qualify, fine, they have qualified it, and they become civil servants, contribute to the to the growth and development of the country through being in government and bureaucracy. But those who have prepared very well and could not qualify, I think they also deserve success, and they have been successful in many ways. So this is my message, I would say, to all aspirants, that they should not feel let down, they should not feel down and out. They should actually take the best parts of their preparation. But when they are preparing, I would assume that they should prepare with a lot of honesty, lot of discipline, lot of perseverance and confidence. Because if those characters, if those elements are brought in, Number one, I think they will qualify. Even if they are not able to qualify for whatever reasons, I think they will not be orphaned from getting further success in any other field.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. You explained very well, sir. It's amazing, sir. I'm very proud of you, sir. You are explaining very much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Many of the students uh, want to know those explanations, sir, from you. Thank you so much, sir, for giving in in so many details, sir. So, sir, and you talk about the youth organization. You had joined the student organization like DAMS and like other CSO. So you had joined those organization during your preparation days. So, sir, but now many of uh, I feel what to say, sir. I guess many of the students they have neglected to join the student organization. So, what is the importance of joining student organization while preparing for the UPSC, sir?
See, what I did was till second year of my BA, I was aware of what's happening, but I was not directly involved with it because my focus was on the preparation and my graduation part of it. By the end of second year, I was fully prepared for my civil service exam. I was getting good scores in my BA, so I knew that I'd get in the first division in my BA of pol science honors. So I felt that now it's time for me to prepare for this interview part of it, the personality part of it. I was thorough with the prelims. I was thorough with the mains. Now what was left was the interview part, the personality test part of it, because I felt that being associated with all these association with students bodies, these are more or so I would say socio cultural bodies, who guide other students, newly coming student. They give guidance about the admission processes, about subject choices, or they conduct freshers meets or sports meets, or annual festivals. And someone gets into a problem, they are able to like encourage help to flow to that particular deserving cases and things like that. So I think these are what you call it, socially beneficial activities, right? But I'm not saying that someone a student should be putting full energy and time only on this work. It should be as an extracurricular activity. Extracurricular meaning your primary focus has to be the academic part of what you are doing, and when you are free. For example, I have not never seen any freshers meet held on a working day. It's held on a Saturday or a Sunday, so that it's a free day. I mean, like, yeah, or a sports meet, it's held during vacations or weekend, for example. So it's more like a extracurricular activity. So I would not suggest even now that students should leave behind their academic activities or studies and just go and join these organizations and become student activists. I am not in for that. I'm saying that while keeping the core intact, the core being the academic interest and pursuing academic works and studies, at the same time, if they are able to manage to get time to work for such useful causes, they should go ahead and do it. So it depends on the personality to personality. Some and I, as I said, I give my own example. First year, second year, I didn't do it. Third year, I went full hawk on that, and I did it. So I probably, maybe some of the viewers could get benefit from the approach and strategies that I did. So what I'm saying is, it's not necessary that one should always think about that in the without keeping the academic interest in mind. You have to keep academic interest in mind and then go with that, as if you are able to do it. That's my advice. Yeah.
Right, sir. You explained very well, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mm,
It's amazing, sir. It's an amazing part that you had
mm,
explained, sir. And we all know that, sir. If we join the civil society organization while during our preparation days for the mainly for the civil service, then we can develop our personality skill also, sir. Right, sir. We can develop our
yes, very
personality
much.
skill.
Yes, yes,
We
yes,
can
very
develop our
much.
leadership skills, and even we can develop the knowledge about how to face the interview part also.
Yes, yes, of course.
So,
That's what I said
uh,
exactly. Yes, one.
right,
Yes, very. Yeah.
right. So please don't neglect to join the student civil society organization. Every almost of the students can join the civil society organization mainly for the students purpose, like we can organize like interview like today, and we can organize the awareness program. So not too much involving in the politics arena,
Yes,
like you had,
yes,
sir. Yeah.
yes, yes, very much.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Sir, and sir, please tell us about the interview part. So, how to face the interview part, sir?
In my first attempt interview in 2003,
Mm-hmm.
it went on for about 45 minutes. And out of those 45 minutes, half of it was on my knowledge and practice of yoga. Because, as I said, I have been practicing yoga since 1992 when I was in grade 8. And the story how it started was very interesting. My father was in Manipur police wireless. He was an assistant sub inspector at that time. He used to take very keen interest in my academic pursuit, extracurricular activities, my personality development, and everything. So one day, he brought home a poster of yoga asanas, the yoga posters containing 32 yoga asanas, yoga poses. And I pasted it on our house, on one of the in our house wall, and I started imitating those asanas, those posters. So I found, all of them were easy except two asanas, two posters. One is known as Sakra asana, which is where you actually, circle, backwards. You actually, put your hand behind your, your behind yourself, and then you fall, on the hand, not on the back of it, or on the mat. So that was difficult, but when I did it, I was able to do it in the first attempt. So I was very happy about it. It needed certain, agility and balance. The next, another difficult one was Sirsa Asana, which was standing on the head. So first attempt I tried, I couldn't do it. It took about 3 4 attempts for me to be able to stand on my head. I, of course, with the support of the hands. You actually put, either you can put your hands locked and put it on your head, or you can actually put it like this near your on the side of your ear. So I was able to stand on my head. So when I was able to stand on my head, I felt so happy about it. I felt quite relaxed. I felt that I was able to achieve something. So this poster, I used to stay in that poster for about 5 to 7 minutes every morning. So in my daily routine used to be like, I used to get up very early in the morning. In Manipur, as we all are aware, sunrise is very early, and then the morning prayers are much earlier. So I used to get up in the before the call of the prayer in the morning. So I used to get up, do my prayers, and then I used to go for a run. About one direction would be about 5 kilometers, so it'd be about 10 kilometer run I used to do. Come back and do yoga. And when I used to do yoga, my focus was on this Sirsasana and some other asanas. And then I used to do read the holy book of Quran as well, for about 10 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes every day. And so this is my morning schedule every day. So yoga became an integrated part of it, along with my prayers and physical activities and things like that. And so the interview is what coming back to this point of interview. Out of those 45 minutes, about 25 minutes was on yoga. See, there are a few things to do not there. One, a boy which is like 23 years of age, from Manipur, whose name is Muhammad Noor Rahman Sheikh, who is claiming to have been doing yoga for so many years. So so it was like it erupted into the board a lot of interest. There was one member of the board who was a yoga expert, and the conversation went on between her and me for about 25 minutes. And it was, to me, it was so satisfying, that when I put yoga, I put it with a lot of confidence in the men's form. I because I was very confident that I'm doing it, so anything that they can ask me. And then it actually turned out like that. So interview one was that, which helped me a lot, because I was doing it for so many years. From 1992 to 2023, 2003, I was continuously doing yoga. So I was, and then I joined certain yoga camps in Manipur. There were several gurus in Manipur also were very expert, in yoga. So I was very closely, working with them. Then, other aspect, of course, was about my being in NDA, my course in political science, the situation in Manipur and Northeast India, and certainly about, the global politics as well. So it went on for about 45 minutes, but I was able to handle them with a lot of confidence, and I got, reasonably good marks in the interview as well. Second attempt, when I already was in Indian Revenue Service, when I went for the second attempt in 2003 exam and went for the interview in 2004. The interview, it was very short. It was just about, around 18 minutes. And it was, I failed it because I was already into civil services. And, questions were mostly on my subject, on, income tax and, Indian Foreign Service and other things. And in fact, I got higher marks as well in the second attempt also. So to my mind, interview is an integrated process. It's a reflection of one's overall growth, since childhood till the time the person is going for the interview. So you cannot prepare for interview overnight. It has to be a long drawn process. The subjects that you studied, the extracurricular activities that you did, the sports that you have been playing, things like that, what you have been observing around, the situation and all those things. So I think interview is something that one has to enjoy, like when, if not anything, you want the candidate should feel very lucky and very fortunate that he or she is going to meet five very highly accomplished members in the board, who would be, renowned, professors in their fields, who would be, what do you call it, psychologist, who would be a civil servant, a very senior level civil servant, who could be a scientist, who could be, things like that. So these are very highly accomplished personalities. So any candidate going in there should go with a lot of happiness, I would say, not with tension and with, a lot of fear and apprehension. One should go in with a lot of, when I walk in, I walked in with a smile. I said, "Okay, fine, let me face it, it's fine." And then, the interview went on in a very relaxed manner and very calm way. And so that is how I prepared myself for interview, and that's how I presented myself and faced the interview during that time. Yes. Yeah.
Wow, amazing, sir. Amazing, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. You explained very much, a lot, sir. It's amazing, sir. Sir, you said that, sir, you have failed in first attempt. So, did you face any disappointment when you fail in the first attempt, sir?
When I said the first attempt failing was not an exam, it was just the Sirsa Asana, right? When I mentioned about it. So it was standing on the head part of it. And when it was that, it was very difficult in the posture, standing on the head, we stand on the feet, right? When we are to stand on the head, it's a very difficult standing posture. So it was difficult, but I was confident that I'll be able to do it. So in the third or fourth, attempt or trial, I was able to stand it. And then I was so happy with that, that I was able to do this asana. And then even now I continue doing that regularly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, great, sir, great, sir. So, sir, many of the civil service aspirants or many of the competitive exam aspirants make the mistakes while preparing the examination. So, or while attempting the exam also. So, what common mistakes many civil service aspirants make, sir?
See, there could be some common mistakes. These are done by each and everyone, including me. I would say, when I was preparing for the exam, particularly in my second attempt. In fact, I would go like this. In my first attempt, when I was going in for the essay paper, there were five topics, and I had to write an essay on one of the topics. And of course, when you give about 20-25 minutes, first 20-25 minutes to read the topics and then select one of them, and then once you have selected, you allow you do a brainstorming. You allow your free flow of ideas to come in, and you keep jotting somewhere on a rough page, the whatever ideas are coming in, like related to the topic. And then once that brainstorming is done, you reorganize yourself, which part would be part of introduction, which would be in body, which would be in conclusion, and things like that. And then you have a mental framework of things with those ideas in front of you, and then you start writing the essay. So what I did, or the mistake that I did in my first attempt in essay was, I chose the most difficult topic. The logic for that was, as I said, in the beginning, in the opening also, I'm habituated to looking for the most tough ones, the toughest ones. If it is exam, interview, SSB is very tough, go for NDA. If the civil service exam is one of the toughest, go for civil service exam, like that. So I had this aspect of it. So when I was to choose the topic, I chose for the most difficult topic. So I made those. I applied your formula, and then when I started writing, what happened was I was supposed to write about 17, 18 pages in those 3 hour period, and then leave some time for revision as well. Now, I started writing, and in about 30 minutes time, I wrote about 3 or 4 5 pages, and it seemed that all ideas have been exhausted. All ideas have exhausted, and there was nothing that I could add more. I could just repeat the same thing that I have already written in different words, but there was no new edition of ideas. So and then it would be very awkward to cut it all and then choose another topic. I felt that it would give a very wrong impression to the examiner. So I continued writing somehow on that. I would say I dragged on that topic of the essay for some more pages, and I of course ended at about whatever 13, 14 pages. But I knew that I didn't do well in the essay, and it so happened that when the result came in, when the marks came out after the final exam, I just got 89 out of 200 in that essay paper. Otherwise, I have always had great marks in English literature, English grammar and things like that in my 10th and 12th and other exams. So I knew that something was wrong because of this mistake that I did. So how I corrected that mistake was, when I went for the second attempt, I told to myself before the exam also that I will go now for the easiest topic, which I find it is very, very common topic. So in the second attempt, I went for a topic on democracy. I found this is a very easy topic for me, having studied political science, having been aware of it, having being a citizen of the great democratic country of India. So I chose this topic and started with a song by Bob Dylan, with a quotation and things like that. And I was, freely expressing myself with ideas and assessments, and so I wrote about 17, 18 pages. And from 89 that I got in my first attempt, in the second attempt, it got enhanced to 136, which is like 78% marks in essay. So this is one of the this is one mistake which I could remember. Another thing I had a mistake in my second attempt was there was no gap there between my two optional papers. So my first optional was political science, international relations. It was on one Tuesday, and the next day, the Wednesday, was a money pre-literature. So there was no gap. So what I should have done was, after coming back from the exam, I could have taken some rest, revised some part of it, maybe the characters of the novels, some of the poems, and story, and the old literature part, this and that. But what I did was, I was watching movies the whole night, because of course I was already in IRS, that was there. But at the same time, I was like, probably maybe I was a bit overconfident, because money pre-literature in my first attempt, I got 360 out of 600, which is considered very good, because 60% of it is considered very good. And then so I was like, already, in my subconscious mind, I was saying to myself that, I anyways got 360 last attempt. So this time, even if it goes down, it'll go down to what, 330 or not below that. So because I've already read it, I've revised it earlier, this and that. But that particular night, instead of focusing on my exam, I was watching the whole night. I mean, I remember the whole night I was kept on watching one movie after another. And when I went for the exam, I was so exhausted mentally that I knew that I was not doing well in monetary literature. Otherwise, it was also one of my favorite subjects, from my school days. And then in all other exam papers, general studies, political science, essay, interview, all of it, there was an improvement of 97 marks. For getting 10 more marks, it's like a huge thing in civil service exam. But in my case, 97 marks got enhanced. But in one subject, Manipuri literature, it got reduced by 88 marks. So in net effect was that I just was able to improve by 9 marks. If I was able to maintain that 360 marks in manipulative with some tweaking of my strategy by taking rest or by focusing more on of it, or maybe that by doing revision on that night, I could have been one of those top five rankers of the civil service exam. You see. So my rank was 187 ultimately when I got Indian Foreign Service, but I could have been one of the top five rankers in the civil service exam if I just maintained my first attempt marks of Manipuri literature. So this is another mistake which I did, and of course, by the time it was already done, of course, I got Indian Foreign Service. It turned out to be most suitable service for me, and it has paid me off so well in terms of my professional enrichment. So much exposure to different cultures, different countries, several aspects of national interest, enhancement of national interest around the world, and things like that. So, but these are the mistakes that I also did it. If someone else is doing it, it's common, it's fine, it's not the end of it's not the end of the world. But the point is, one should be able to understand what are those mistakes, how do you take it on, how do you rectify it. Another mistake which I find amongst a lot of candidates or aspirants is that they feel that they are bogged down by the number of books or by the number of newspapers or journals they come across. They feel that they don't have time, but there's so much to read. See, the point is, you can read one thing at a time. You can't read 10 things at one time. So one has to go with a strategy. How do you cover these topics in history, or topics in economics, or topics in geography, or things like that, or science and tech, or statistics, things like that. So the point is, one should not be bogged down by the volume of the syllabus, or by the mere range of questions. One has to take on step by step. And as I said, when I mentioned to you about how my class 7 tutor told me that don't focus on marks but on the understanding. I think that's a very good strategy that any civil servant aspirant can always own up to. Yeah. Yes, Irfan.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, sir, I congratulate you, sir, for your remarkable achievement and service to the nation, sir. Once again, I congratulate, sir. Sir, you talk about the life experiences and how do you fail the first attempt for the competitive for the civil service exam, and how you overcome those mistakes. You have explained very well, and to avoid the
Irfan,
mistakes
Irfan,
while
Irfan, I think I think
yes,
there's
sir.
some confusion there, because it's not like I didn't fail in the first attempt. I qualified in the attempt, right? So civil service, there's no failing
Yeah,
there. I
yeah,
did both attempts. I qualified. Yeah. So just to make a small correction there. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Hmm,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, you qualify for the board attempt. Thank you so much, sir. And sir, and you talk about the mistakes that the aspirants do not commit in the further attempt. Uh, yeah, you have talked about the mistakes also, and you have talked about the responsibilities. Many of the responsibilities that need to be done by the civil service aspirants also. So, and so let me come to the Indian ambassador. You are now currently holding the post of Indian ambassador to the Lebanon, sir. So, what are the key responsibilities of an Indian ambassador in a country like Lebanon, sir?
Yeah. Yeah. As a country's ambassador, uh, the ambassador is responsible for enhancing the bilateral relations between India and Lebanon. As an ambassador, I'm also responsible for the welfare of the Indian diaspora in Lebanon. I'm also responsible for enhancing, say, the trade and commerce between both countries. For there is an Indian battalion in the United Nations interim force in Lebanon. So I'm also since I'm the ambassador, they also look up to me for various guidance. Then of course organizing various events. There are several scholarship programs that government of India provides to Lebanon to oversee that. The nominations are received, and those nominations are accepted or approved, and then the nominees come for the training to India. Various cultural events that we do several yoga classes. We do International Day of Yoga. We conduct several other events like the 150th year of Vande Mataram, International Gita Mahotsav, Janajatiya Gaurav Divas, Ambedkar Jayanti, Gandhi Jayanti, which is celebrated as International Day of Non-Violence, the national days, Independence Day and Republic Day of India, the International, the World Meditation Day, so many events that we are expected to do. Then you have the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, and you have Hindi Day, World Vishwa Hindi Divas, Bharat ko janiye quiz. So everything is done with basic certain objectives. One, as I said, to strengthen the bilateral relations between India and Lebanon. uh, this is the most important aspect of it. And two is to also take care of the Indians in Lebanon. This is again another very, very important aspect of it. That is where we like in the embassy we issue visas to people who want to come to India. We process or we approve passports for our Indians there. We do a lot of attestation of various documents, registry of deaths and marriages. Try to and assist those Indians in jails or deportation centers. Resolve commercial disputes between any commercial entities of India and Lebanon. Participate in various exhibitions in India. Like in there is a Indus Food exhibition in January 8 to 10 in Noida. So with 30 Lebanese business people would be coming and attending that. So embassy kind of coordinates that aspect. World Food India in India, participation from Lebanon. So visits, for example, ministerial visits, higher senior level officers visits. Cultural troops, ICCR, Indian Council of Cultural Relations, depute several cultural troops of performances. Like in July this year, we had a Bollywood dance group from India. They were, so we arranged for their performances in various locations in Lebanon. So things like that. So it's like we set up say Bharat Corner in various schools and universities by donating books on India. So we get those books from India from the ministry, and then we kind of about 100 books or so we donate to its school and universities and India library, and those books are kept in their libraries with the name in Bharat Corner, India Corner. So and then we talk about Ayurveda, promotion of Ayurveda. We get linked with the experts over there. There are, say, in Lebanon there are about 10,000 Ayurveda experts or practitioners or users or followers in Lebanon. Now we are connected well with them. So all in all, whatever an embassy is supposed to be doing as an ambassador, you're the head of the mission. So head of the mission supervises, guides, and approves several things that are to be done. But as I said, the two most important thing is to strengthen the bilateral ties and take care of the Indian diaspora in Lebanon. So this is what an ambassador does. And of course, say for example, you are also able to pursue your several other interest, which is of course professionally linked as well. When I was posted in Saudi Arabia, so when I got selected in IRS, I was in my first year of or MA Part 1 in political science in Delhi University. Then after I joined IFS, I completed my MA in political science. Then when I was posted in Saudi Arabia, I did my MBA, from IGNO, with specialized in finance. And then I did my last paper from New York when I was posted there in New York. So December 2015, I gave my last paper in New York. Then when I was posted in Lebanon, I started preparing myself for enrolling in PhD. So since September last year, I have been enrolled in PhD in political economy in Lebanese University. So I'm currently pursuing PhD as well. In Jordan, I also in Lebanon, I also in Jordan, of course, I learned Arabic language in Jordan University when I was posted for the first assignment as a third secretary language trainee. So I'm able to speak and communicate in Arabic quite fluently. In Beirut, in Lebanon, I learned golf. I have a handicap of 11, which is considered very high in standards of golf. I play tennis. So I do all these things as well. So it's just not only the meetings or functions and reports and all. So as an ambassador, also you are expected to closely follow the developments in the country and what India could do. So India, for example, as I said, has an Indian battalion in IFIL in Lebanon for the last 27 years. There is one aspect. Then there's another aspect where we engage with them in terms of undertaking several quick impact projects. It could be solar lighting of several areas, streets in Lebanon, renovation of hospitals, renovation of sports stadiums, providing setting up computer labs for the benefit of the Lebanese nationals, conducting it's a Jaipur Food artificial limb fitment camp to provide artificial limbs to the amputated Lebanese nationals. India provided 33 tons of medicines last year when the conflict was going on there. So as an ambassador, you're expected to be all rounder. You are supposed to be doing all this political work, economic work, commercial work, consular work, passport work, visa work, the scholarship, which is called Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program work. In your own work, like as I said, I play tennis and I'm doing my PhD as well. So all of these things are what is expected from an ambassador. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. You have explained very well, sir, about the key responsibilities of an Indian ambassador. Thank you so much, sir. And sir, one more question, sir. You have served as the Consul General of India in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and are now posted in Lebanon as Indian ambassador also. So, could you explain, sir, how postings are decided in the Indian Foreign Service, and whether there is a possibility of serving in the US or Europe as well, sir?
Well, our ministry has a very what do you call it? Very fair policy of transfers and postings. In fact, my first posting was based on the foreign language that I was allotted. So I opted and got Arabic language, and that is where I was posted. That is why I was posted to Jordan first to learn Arabic language. Then continue as a regular posting. So I was in Jordan for 3 years. Then I came back on my own request to headquarters. I was in headquarters for 3 years. I handled, I was under secretary West Asia, North Africa, so dealing with the region in West Asia and some of North African country, including Egypt and Sudan as well. Then I was posted to Jeddah as consul Hajj and deputy consul general. So I handle Hajj operations and various other aspects there. And then I was posted to India's permanent mission to United Nations in New York. But there was for a brief time because I was again posted to Jeddah as consul general, and I was there in Jeddah for 4 years. Then I was posted to Delhi. I was there for 2 years. Then I was promoted as joint secretary in 2021 June when I was in the 17th year of my service. Then I was posted to Lebanon as ambassador. Now, how this process works is we look at this extant transfer posting policy. For example, if someone is on a foreign posting one time after being posted to headquarters, maybe the officer will get another foreign posting. But if the officer is already on the end of a second foreign posting, And ordinarily, he may be told to come to headquarters and then be in headquarters for 2 to 3 years. Then again, he'll apply for his posting and go to another country. And there's nothing like aligned to a particular region or a language. Like I learned Arabic language as my compulsory foreign language. That is why I was posted to Jordan. Thereafter, it is not linked to any posting is not linked necessarily to my language. Of course, it is an advantage. Like in Lebanon, French, English, and Arabic are spoken. Arabic is their mother tongue, and it's very useful. When I speak to them in Arabic, they are very happy to hear my Arabic. To find the Indian ambassador is speaking in Arabic. It's very useful that way. Same thing in Saudi Arabia. When I used to speak in Arabic with the Saudi officials and others in Saudi Arabia, they were very happy about it. So that is there, but the posting is not necessarily linked to the language. It would depend on, as I said, on the vacancies, on of course the public interests, and the preferences of the officer. So there's no what do you call it? Certainly, I mean, posting to US, as I said, I was posted to US. I was in New York, there's no bar of a particular region or a restriction for a particular officer to go to a particular mission. In fact, that way our ministry is very very open. Does this transparent and posting policy in a very very transparent manner. In fact, as far as possible, they also take into account the preferences shown by the officers concerned. So hopefully, let us see. Where further I go on after I complete my tenure in Lebanon in a couple of months and things like that. So let us see. So there's no particular restriction or bar on going to US or Europe or anywhere. Any country is actually open for posting of any IFS officer in an embassy or even in the headquarters as well. Yes.
Right, sir. You have explained very well, sir. Thank you so much, sir. You have explained there is no restriction in posting to any other country, in posting to any other nation. So you have highlighted so much words. You have explained very well, sir. And sir, coming to the last question, sir. Thank you for interview session, sir. So let me come to the last question, sir. Sir, please share some of the tips to success easily by many of the civil service aspirants, sir. That means you can give the message to the youth, sir.
Uh, well, yes. Thank you, Irfan, for this opportunity of a live discussion of a Q&A. I am very happy with the initiative that you are doing. I know you have also been one of the civil service aspirants. I have, met you a couple of times, and I have always seen you to be positive and
Thank you.
quite aware of the social settings and other things. I also wish you all the very best. And to all the civil service aspirants, as I mentioned during this Q&A session and this interview, I think it's important to be honest about one's preparation, to work very hard, to have that full commitment and dedication. And of course, one has to be aware that the number of seats is is low, but at the same time, each of you just needs one slot. I mean, a candidate does not need one more than one slot. I mean, it's just that you just require one slot only. So if you are actually determined, very disciplined, work very hard, have a lot of perseverance, I think no one should be able to stop you from getting success in anything that you do, be it civil services or be it any field that you pursue thereafter, if you have not been able to qualify in the civil service exam. Because even if you are in civil service, after you get through, you need to continue to work hard. It's not like you qualify one time this exam and the hard work ends there, or you just take a lazy route. No, I mean, you need to keep on working very very hard. You need to get outstanding reports every year and year on. So that is how you actually keep up to the pace, because the government also expects every bureaucrat to be aligned to the vision of a Viksit Bharat by 2057 and the kind of initiatives that the government is doing. I mean, every bureaucrat needs to respond and be aligned to that. And that is where I feel very very fortunate that I was able to qualify it when I was 23. I got IRS when I was 23. I was 24 when I got into foreign service, and all the promotions that I have got so far, I mean, have been very timely. I should thank all my seniors, and colleagues, and even the juniors for the constant, motivation, and several guidance that I keep getting. And as we all know, knowledge has no ending. I mean, one needs to keep on learning. It's moment we should be able to, be learning new things. I think that's very important. Once we decide that we need to stop learning, then I think there's no further growth to it. So my advice to everyone is, like, we need to keep learning, we need to keep working hard, we need to be disciplined. And of course, I don't mean that one should always be too serious about life, right? Because we also need to be, we need to have our entertainments, we need to have our extracurricular activities, sports, games. Watching a movie, it's fine. I mean, like yesterday I watched Duranda, day before yesterday I watched Avatar, like with my family. I mean, we all enjoyed it. It's fine. So we need to have that approach also. So with all these things that I have conveyed, I think the viewers will receive certain benefits out of it. And also, they are free to reach out to me. That is fine. My contacts are not very difficult to trace, and it's not difficult to reach out to me. And I have been responding to people whom I feel that are genuinely needing assistance, help, and guidance. So with this, I'd like to thank once again Irfan for this initiative, for reaching out to me and having this interview. Thank you very much, Irfan. God bless.
Thank you so much, sir, for the Voice of Nation also. And sir, let me pick up only two questions, and which you need to explain in short, sir. Two comments, mainly two comments from the participants, sir. Sir, student amana hangite CSE Civil Service Exam aspirant amana karai dagi karam na hogani kari kari lairik paraga hogani haiba na chingba sing khara sarna haibiram labadi yam ngai jagani si takim dolai na haibi buni sir. Sarna tentana khumbiyoba.
Hoi, takim civil service exam tayari tawbai si graduation tawringaidagi tawbnadi kwai best ni ado nang kari tawri modai khangdre ado graduation tawringai warigadi kwai yam phabo ai graduation tawna civil service ki tayari dum tawba side da ado graduation lorak matamda adraga first year lorak matamda fully prepared oi aduga anyway hana already tawthokre tayari khar wala hore the moment nang na taw tayari tawba horagi have numidgi yam phajan tawba ta ba inside harise discipline lebi tare larik ti standard larik khai parar lore ai larik ti amna makan topic amada am pa be dakar kem leite sida pagada ba larik tu phajana paraga lore phajana khangbam dakar le ai di sai gi khangbai si yam phajana khangbam dakar le han ji me am paraga mind confusion be dakar le mind si relax ho hanga da bani understand tawba da bani concept ma khaidu adagi historical dates boiro that boiro evidences boiro and concepts boiro adu clear tawraga some step by step sakadam si no mada tham da tawi aba prakhadi na tari dinate aduna it needs a long term long haul process aduga confidence yam laibitare adagi mehnat yam tawtare adagi ekuma sambir ma puda thajabatare adagi afaba thabuk tawge aisi officer oraga IS oraga IFS oraga IPS oraga afaba thabuk tawge habi need amasu thamba yam dakar lai misi exam taw matamda aduga kan honor di dum soinam ki mai pakani sai sai tham.
Sir, let me pick up one more comment, sir. She want to talk. She want to know, sir, about the importance of current affairs.
Hmm.
Current affairs की importance ma khangning yari sir. Sir na si jo tentak na yardem tak habiram sir.
नहीं current affairs ऐसी current affair ऐसी कहीं नहीं कोई करे ऐसी नो खबर पाप तो उसी की हम सुलाई सुलाई ना सोशल मीडिया ले रहे NDTV एकदम मोबाइल दे आओ
Habiram is
है
Wasima Khan ni sir.
क्या तो बा
Wasima Khan na habiram ba. Wasima Khan na uh, importance of current affairs. Please explain hein habiram ba, sir.
yeah Wasima, it's like this current affairs of course is very critical, is very important because one has to be updated of what's happening around in anything, It could be on politics, it could be on economics, it could be on initiatives of the government, it could be on sports, it could be on new innovations, science and technology, AI. Like one has to be updated of what's happening. But I should also tell this, that not everything can be known by everyone. So one has to do whatever is possible. So one should not take too much of load on one particular area. And so it's like you need to just keep update of what's happening on. Like every day you need to be aware of what's happening. Like you should know as a sequence of things, right? Like for example, say Manrega. How, when was it started? How was it started? Now it is a new name. What does it mean? What are the provisions of it? How was the debate in the parliament? Right? What are the benefits, and what are the differences between the just two particular? What are the changes now brought in, like in Ramji thing? So like that. So one has to be aware of what's happening. Like the Indigo crisis, for example. What was it? What was the problem? What were the steps taken by DGC or by the government or by the Indigo themselves? How did social media help in either getting this problem resolved or making it bit deeper? What is it? So it's about you need to keep on analyzing, keep on building on, even in current affairs. It's just not knowing the facts, but knowing what is it about it, why. You need to ask why, how, what, all the time, right? Yeah, I think that should make it easy. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for explaining very well, sir. Sir, I comment amtang sa pick up tawge ado siri question natte sir mayam na sir se fadana thagal ai hai tare ado thagal ibu mayam sidagi henna fadana thagalak pai tare comment kasi kitang sana ka iraga hai tare ado kitang pathok charke sir, he is none other than Yasin Pusam, sir. Yasin Pusam commented, sir, thank you, sir, Noor Rahman Sheikh, for your valuable words that inspire us. Sir, Yasin Pusam na harap ko ni sir. Yang phadana thagal eh.
Mhm. Okay, good. All the best to him also. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, atay so phadana thagal ko body great and ma'am thagal eh adu ma'am lo di pata bida asmina comment ahung watang ko le question ani lo ko le aduga amuna bo phadana thagal ko Yasin Pusam gi mo lo ko le. Thank you so much, sir. Yang thagat chale sir yam nungai sir na ngasi gi live session asida live interview session asida obi dana adagi voice of nation na toro iba thabak tharam sida sir na encourage to oina sir na akoi motivation to oina yogirak pa I think I like na sir thagat chale aduga yam nungai ji aduga sir na explain to kiba aduga sagi uhai wata adigi from the beginning to the end whatever you explain, sir, amazing, sir, amazing. Aku phangna phajai hai tare sir na explain to bose. So thank you so much, sir. Amakana sir botaram oxygen ka nguchege sir ni obi damakta duka yam nungai jai hai tare. Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable experiences, insights, and guidance with us today with the Voice of Nation. Your words have truly inspired our viewers, especially students and competitive exam aspirants. This conversation has helped us students not only the responsibilities of a civil servant, but also the values of integrity, dedication, and service to the nation. On behalf of Voice of Nation, sir, I sincerely thank you for joining us. To our viewers, thank you for watching. Stay connected, stay informed, and keep striving for excellence. This is Irfan Gufran signing off for today. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, our Indian Foreign Service, Noor Rahman Sheikh, sir.
Okay, all the
Thank you, sir.
best. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, sir.
Bye.
Thank you so much, sir. So, our discussion, our interview session is going to be end. So, please connect with us. Thank you to all the viewers, and thank you once again to all the viewers, and mainly to our Noor Rahman, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's wind up for today's interview session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, bye, sir.